Hello and welcome. Today we have another part of the Clionadh Chronicles. This look that I'm wearing right now is not in the video. This is featured in a short that in your timeline should be up already for a while. In my timeline, it's actually mid-January, so I'm currently filming these Clionadh videos one after one after one, but I totally forgot to film an intro after the last look or any of the looks, so in case you did forget what this video is, I have a lot of Clionadh single eyeshadows, a lot of their beautiful multi-chromes, and in each of these videos I will create 3 looks surrounding one shade each, and for that I do have a Wheel of Fortune app that I spin before every look. Then we look at the shade, I read to you what it is described, I show you swatches, close-ups, and then I decide what palette I'm going to pair this with, and you get full tutorials for each shade. The goal is that every single one of my 72 Clionadh eyeshadows are somewhat featured here on this channel, so that you have a library, something where you can just go to my channel, type into the search bar what you want to see, and you have a matching look. And if you don't want to scroll on my profile, you know I don't like gatekeeping, but this eye look, this very wild eye look, is actually created with the Florasis palette. So, without any rambling, now let's head into the real Clionadh footage. Okay, let's spin the wheel again for today's look. Hoping for something purple, honestly. It's gliding, or isn't it gilding? Maybe I have a typo here. Yeah, I just checked on the Clionadh website. It is gilding, and I even have on my palette the typo gliding. Well, happens. This beautiful shade up here. So gilding is a glitter iridescent multi-chrome with a translucent base that reflects peach, gold, and lime. Let's make a swatch here. So here you have your view, and now I have my view. Okay, so we're going with quite a light look today, I guess, but with a high impact of shine. And your phone flash video, honestly, this reflects beautiful, and I have a hard time choosing a palette because literally everything will fit with this shiny, super nice shadow. So I'm going with something very soft with the Florasis Floral Engraving Phoenix palette. In this version, this is 02 Retro Brown. So this is, I know this sounds mean, but it's the most boring palette, but honestly, sometimes there are occasions where I want to have a palette like this that just gives a soft framing. So I really appreciate myself that I have this. So honestly, this is just the perfect time for this, since the gilding shade shifts more warmy with the yellows and the peaches, and this is a very warm brown palette. Chef's kiss, this will match. This, by the way, was sent to me in PR by Florasis. I am affiliated with them. All the info is in the info box below. Starting with the shade number 7 here. Sadly, I don't have shade names for this because this is the only one of the Phoenix palettes where the shade names are sadly in Chinese on the back. And I tried to translate them, but my phone was completely overwhelmed with that. So I use this shade and start to apply this in my transition area. I then go into the center shade here, and that one I apply throughout the crease. And I then go into the first shade. I tap this basically here on the outer part and also a bit here on the inner part, so that this creates the softest halo ever to be seen. I applied my glitter glue and now I go into gilding. These glitter iridescent multi-chromes, they are a bit on the flaky side, but I'm not talking the squish flaky that we know from Adept Minka or from the latest Odenstein singles that came out last year. I'm talking dry flaky, so be a bit careful because I just already know that even with this sticky glitter glue underneath and on the brush, it's going to fall out. So I carefully tap this on my lid. And once the majority is on, I swipe out any flaky residue. And once the majority of the shade is on, I just tap over everything and swipe it in. A little bit like these chrome polishes where you have the powder that you rub in and then it reveals the beautiful chrome. I do basically the same with these shades, because with rubbing you just destroy the flakes and reveal this beautiful coat of color. And I then just take one of the brushes that I use the matte with and go through the crease. You know me, breaking up the glitter line. I want to have a little bit more definition, so I take the brush and go into the dark shade here. But what I do is I now very, very softly run the shade through the crease. For the liner, I go with the ColourPop one in Hit the Jackpot. It's a rusty antiqued gold. And I line my waterline with that. I tap now into shade 1 from the Florasis Retro Brown again. And I smudge this on my lower lash line. Then I take shade 7 again and smudge this on top and a little down for a smoked out look. The inner corner highlight, I'm going into the Rom&nd Glitter Garden palette and I take this shade down here. This is Glory Ivory. This has also a translucent base and the glitter is reflecting in yellow, in gold, in green. So I think it matches the lid shade quite well. There is even some pink in there. And for the brow bone highlight, I will later use the shade 4 from the Florasis palette. And here we have the first finished look. On my lips, I'm wearing Charlotte Pillow Talk lip liner together with the Pillow Talk airbrush lip blur, long name, whatever. I love these. I love the impact that this shade gives. It is very, very sparkly, very, very high shine. And together with the Florasis Retro Brown, I think I gave it just a nice stage to perform on. And once again, very excited for the next look. Let's spin the wheel for the next look. And it's going to be Crown Glass. Crown Glass is my Clionadh palette number 2. And it is this dark here. Crown Glass is described on the website. First of all, it's a jeweled multi-chrome and it is shifts teal, indigo, pink, red, orange, gold. So that's a hell of a thing. As I said, this is a jeweled multi-chrome and that means, it says on the website, features a black base with ultra-rich, highly metallic color shifting reflects. I love a black base. So here's the camera swatch for you. And now let's take a look. Okay. I see the orange, I see the purple, I also see the indigo. It's a very, very complex shade. And here in the phone video, it was nearly impossible to capture the golden, the orangey shift to this shade. So I just hope that you saw it here. It's a bit longer because I just tried so hard to capture it, but it is there, I promise. And I found the perfect palette to go with this. I take the Lisa Eldridge Myth palette. I'm starting with Mauve Decade. This is a velvet here. I use this as my transition color. I then go into Violet Stone here and I apply this directly in the crease. I also go into Nocturama. This is the black matte here. And I use this in the outer V area. I applied my glitter glue and now I go into Crown Glass and apply this all over my lid. I go back into Violet Stone here and apply this back into the crease to diffuse any harsh lines and bring back some of the purpleness. I stay with the purple theme, so I take the Urban Decay liner in the shade Vice and line my waterline with that. Take Nocturama from Lisa Eldridge, smudge this across my lower lash line. I then go into Violet Stone again and I use this to smudge it down a bit further. Also take Mauve Decade and just soften everything here a bit. For the inner corner highlight, the shade Illusion here would make a great job, but you know I'm back into glitter, bitches. And I go into my Slayfire Cosmetics Diamond Skin palette that you can get on the Slayfire Cosmetics website for 10% off with my code ELLAKINKLEY. I have 2 shades in mind that I want to use, Hottest and Tonic. Both have a translucent base and a purple shift, but the difference is Hottest has a bit more of a bigger glitter, while Tonic has super fine, tiny glitter. So I think I go with Tonic. Definitely a great choice because of the tiny glitter. It kind of looks like a layer, although when you look closely, it's super fine, tiny specks of glitter. And here we have the second finished look. No lip liner on the lips, just the Izamaya lip lac in the shade Ultra Violet. And now let's head over to the last look of this video. And we're already at look 3, so let's spin the wheel and we will get today the shade Oxidize. So Oxidize is in my half-empty Clionadh number 3 palette, and it's this shade here. I don't know why I have such a hardcore deja vu. I feel like we had that shade already, but I checked in my tracker and it wasn't there, and I checked in the videos and it wasn't there too. Oxidize is a dimensional multi-chrome, and it is described as shifts emerald blue violet with multicolored micro glitter and a silvery red sheen. I have, I think, the OG one because, yeah, this must be the OG one because Oxidize is one of the shades where you have 2 finishes actually, and it says also on the Clionadh website, there are 2 finish options for this shadow. Original, which is the version you already know and love, so I guess I have original, which with larger glitter particles, and a finely milled version, which comes with slightly smaller glitter particles and a smoother finish. The finely milled version is further discounted and a great option for those who do not like large sparkles, and on the website itself is a comparison photo. I'm pretty sure I have the OG one because I never realized there is a finely milled version. The OG one, as I'm filming this mid-January, is sold out. The finely milled one is available, and the finely milled version has is €3 less than the OG one. I love these dimensional multi-chromes because of the glitter, so for me a finely milled version is not really an option. I like the way it is, and when I look at this, I see purple, I see some sort even of a grayish vibe going on, but also green and the glitter and the multi-chrome, and it just looks fab. And I mean, look at this here in the phone flash video. It just looks so dreamy and nice, and I am already thinking of what palette I'm going to pair this with. I do agree though, they are a bit more on the chunky side. We had already another of this shades in the series. We did Catalyst already, and I think I said it there too. It's a bit more chunky, a bit more flaky, but not in this like wet, squishy flaky. I am talking about dry flaky, so there is a bit of fallout, or a ton of fallout, even though I use a very, very sticky glitter glue underneath, but I do my eyes before the face, so I don't mind that. I just wipe it away. Today I want to pair this shade with something maybe unexpected, so I pull in the Beauty Bay Smoky palette. This is the 42 pan version. As you probably guessed, there are also 16 pan and a 9 pan version out there. And this is, while I love the Xenon palette from Natasha Denona, I would even say the better Xenon because it has so much more variation in the undertones. And I kind of want to pair this shade with some of these more bluish purpley leaning grays in here. I'm also thinking of pulling in a base this time. This is the Black Lune base, or the Color Shot liquid eyeshadow from Rabanne. You know what? We will do exactly this on one half of the eye, buff it out so that we have a part of the lid bare, so that we also have the shade on the normal base and on the black base. I think that's a great idea. So I start with Black Lune from Rabanne. I put this here on my mixing plate. Black Lune is not a matte black. There are tiny specks of glitter in that shade, but they're not too heavy. But do I need to put it on a mixing plate? I think I can just, yeah, I don't want to use too much, so I can pick it up on the tube itself. And I apply this here directly on the lid on this outer part. I had to press out a bit here on a paper towel because I haven't used this specific base in a long time, so it was a bit dry. That's why it looks so freaking patchy. But here we have now the performance I was looking for. So it doesn't have to be precise or tidy or already done buffed out. So this does not have to be tidy or anything because we now go into the Smoky palette. And although this video is all about Clionadh, I just want to say once again, Rabanne makeup is very, very underrated. I now tap into the shade Nightmare from Beauty Bay. This is a very, very, very dark blue purpley shade with a lot of black and gray, of course. And I use this here in the crease on the outer part of that cream shadow to buff that out. I'm not taking it all the way in because I now tap into Thunder. This is a gray with a very, very obvious hint of purple in my opinion. And I start to apply Thunder here in the inner crease part. And then I bring it outwards so that it matches and meets up with Nightmare here. I then take a fluffy brush and I tap into Suede. Again, very, very purple leaning gray. This on the outer parts to just buff everything out and create a nice smoked out look. Applied my glitter glue and now let's pick up Oxidize. And I start to tap this on in the center. And then I just tap it out to both sides and if necessarily, I build it up. This look just needs the full shebang of smokiness, so I take the Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Coal pencil in Bedroom Black and I will line the lower waterline and the upper waterline. Back into the Beauty Bay Smoky, I tap into Nightmare with one of these flat brushes and I use this to buff and smudge this on the lower lash line. And then I take Thunder and buff it out really, really smoky. The inner corner highlights, so many options here in that Beauty Bay palette, but I will definitely use one of these shades as brow bone highlight. I think I will either use Starfall, Seltzer, or Fairy. I'm not 100% sure. But for the inner corner, I want to keep it up with this multi-chrome, you know, this super special sparkle. And for that, I will take the To Die For glitter palette from Slayfire Cosmetics that I think is still available. If you want to get this, 10%, code ELLAKINKLEY. I think I mentioned this in this video already. I'm sorry. This has so many options that I could do for this look. But instead of staying with colors I would usually use, I want to do a bit more of a special inner corner and I'll go into this one. This is Found Footage. So I picked up the shade and now I apply this on my inner corner. Exactly what I wanted for this look. And here we have the finished look. On the lips, I'm wearing MAC Night Moth lip liner together with the MAC Caviar lipstick. What a beautiful end of this 7th part of the Clionadh series. This is such a great look, and the choice to go with a more purpley grayish look together with this beautiful multi-chrome eyeshadow was just on freaking point. While I usually have a hard time deciding what look I like the best, I think today it's quite easy. This is definitely my favorite of this video. Let me know, of course, your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out any of the other videos and, of course, the upcoming Clionadh series videos. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.